Guys, gals, what's up, peeps? Welcome back to the channel. We got a great discussion for all of you today. We're bringing in some big names, some big users out there you probably know in the Call of Duty space to have a nice little, yeah, you guessed it, debate on what Call of Duty needs in the future. We got mouse and keyboard players going at controller players. This time around, maybe not for something that you think. We're not talking about the great aim assist debate. We'll probably save that video for another time as I'm still gathering responses from like dozens of people out there. We're actually talking about lobbies inside Call of Duty / Warzone, whether or not they should separate mouse and keyboard players from controller players. And this is something that Shroud has talked about. I believe Summit has talked about. Everyone in Call of Duty and Warzone has at least thought about this at one point or another. And what do you guys think? Should we separate inputs into their own lobbies? Would that even fix the game? I know which way I'm leaning. What do you guys think? Let's also see what Sir Charles had to say about this. As Charlie Intel's saying, what Call of Duty needs is to have input-based matchmaking to avoid everyone is cheating and aim assist issues. It's something we've told the devs for years, but the problem has been there wasn't enough keyboard and mouse players to keep them in their own pool. Maybe there is now. Which first and foremost, I say grow up, Charlie, okay? It's not KBM, it's MnK. And if you guys are PC players, can we get like a vote down below? What do you got? I say mouse and keyboard. I say MnK. And then when people say KBM, it's like, what? Come on, adapt, man. It's going to be really confusing in the future when we got controller versus KBM versus mouse and keyboard. It's like esports with a lowercase or uppercase E or a dash in between. We have to decide now what us PC people are going to call it. My vote, mouse and keyboard. What's yours? But it's also like, I just don't think this will ever solve any issues. I understand that us PC players, we bring a lot of complications to the game, but we also bring a small player base, but we also bring a lot of content and discussion points between all you controller people, especially when one of our mouse and keyboard peeps takes you guys out in aim assist and SBM. We add a lot to the debate that keeps the Call of Duty pot stirring. Okay, you need us, is what I'm trying to say. But overall, I just don't think separating the lobbies really solves anything. I think, if anything, it'll just lead to more complaints because that's what Call of Duty has become. But what do you guys think about Charlie saying this? I will share some of the other responses, one including who got railed right away, that being Symfuhny. As he said, worst take I've seen on the timeline. A lot of people agreeing with him, but also you have Call of Duty pros like Octane throwing this in there, saying bro can aim with his entire body and still complaining. Symfuhny clarifies why he responded, saying, guys, this is not an argument about aim assist at all. Just that mouse and keyboard would be unplayable in mouse and keyboard only lobbies. Queue times would be terrible and we would have to switch to controller or switch games. I would rather them actually buff aim assist than not be able to play mouse and keyboard on the game at all. And this is what I was saying, because when I do play Call of Duty, rarely now because the game's been out for what, a couple months, so my time will come again. I'll pay $70 next year, but whenever I'm in a lobby, and this could just be me, I'm typically one of like, I don't know, a few other mouse and keyboard dudes, and the rest of us are on controller. So when I play with Hunter, we play crossplay together, I'm seeing mostly controller peeps. And maybe that is just me, but I think a lot of us would agree the majority player base in Call of Duty predominantly seems to be controller, and probably for a rightful reason. I don't know if separating those would help at all. Like, I guess maybe us PC players need these crossplay lobbies because otherwise we couldn't fill our own. And I guess imagine going, but I guess I would love to go up against mouse and keyboard only people if the game actually worked that way, because then I have a better chance, right? Like this is what I always do, man. I always I'm leaning towards one side, but then I actually start talking about it. And I'm like, man, I can understand both sides. And then you guys hate that. So frick. Then Huskers goes, if there wasn't also strict SBMM being implemented in queues, I'd say it might be possible, but I think lobbies would eventually take forever to fill, or we'd be playing against the same 250 people every day. Then Metaphor saying most of the people being called out for cheating are just good controller players. LMFAO. Shifty was literally blacklisted for pulling too much aim assist. Charlie says people cannot handle being outplayed anymore. They just simply think the other player was a cheater. One of the many negative effects of SBMM. And that I do agree with. I remember the Shifty stuff back in the day. I played my hand in that, had him flown out and competing against people just to try and prove the innocence. That's also part of the Warzone scene. It's just been kind of a nightmare unless someone fully admits or fully exposes themselves. You just truly don't know. And that's actually going to be a video coming in a couple of days on this channel involving Warzone pros who accuse other Warzone players off of like one clip, and then we're left to like try and believe them. But it's like, how do you know in a game where aim assist is pretty heavy and there's a lot of other variables too? Like, we're supposed to trust pro player opinions. We wonder why pro players always get accused, but then when they're streaming, they're accusing everyone else. You know, it's like a never-ending thing that I will definitely talk about more in the future. But regardless, the main talking point, should Call of Duty separate into 2 separate input lobbies for matchmaking? My vote would be no. I mean, I guess they could try it out and see how it goes. I just don't see, like, as long as there was an option, if there was an option to toggle it, that'd be cool, but I would like the option to fill the lobbies and actually have, the one great thing about Call of Duty is queue times is usually pretty good. So I'll give them that credit. But what do you guys think? Mouse and keyboard players or KBM players, we'll see what you guys decide down below, versus controller players. The never stopping discussion out there, but it's always fun. So hope you guys all enjoy. Leave your thoughts down below like you guys usually do. I swear, like, we have the highest comment to view ratio on YouTube. I'm not even kidding. I love you guys. We'll catch you back here sometime soon. Take care.